Good morning, everyone. I am Vera Abdusalam. I am your first reporter. So I am going to report to you the role of hydrology in water resources, planning, and management in the Philippines, agencies that are involved in collecting hydrologic data. So first is, what is hydrology? So, kabalo naman ko no nga, kabalo na mo unsang hydrology kay na-explain na ni ma'am sa inyo ha. But because this is part of my report, I will still gonna explain this to you for you to further understand my report. So before we proceed to our objectives, I am first going to discuss to you the hydrology. So, hydrology is the study of the distribution and movement of water, both on and below the Earth's surface, as well as the impact of human activity on water availability and conditions. So, we all know that hydro, diba, is water. I mean, hydro means water, and ology means to study. So, of course, basically, ang ibig sabihin sa hydrology is the study of water through science. So, more specifically, ang hydrology daw is more concerned with occurrence, circulation, distribution, and other properties of waters on the earth. So, let's proceed now to the examples of hydrology. So, first is the water cycle. So, water cycle is continuous movement of water on, above, and below the surface of the earth. So, we all know that, 'di ba, ang water cycle is a complex system, 'di ba? Because it includes many different processes, just like liquid water evaporates into water vapor, then condenses to form clouds, and it precipitates back to earth para makaform siya I mean rain or snow. So next is water resources. So the water resources is the natural resources of water that are potentially useful as a source of water supply. So usually it is a fresh water. So ang water resources daw kay mao ni siya ang sources of water that usually useful to us humans. So of course important siya because it is needed for our life to exist, for us to be able to exist. So many uses of water include agricultural, industrial, household, recreational, and of course, environmental activities. Next is the environmental watershed sustainability. So, watershed management defined as any human action aimed at ensuring the sustainable use of natural resources in watershed. So, so So of course, para ma-sustain na to ang atong environmental watershed, we should make attempts na to provide solutions to those threats. So ang watershed management kay gina-consider niya ang management and conservation of all available natural resources in a comprehensive way. So let's let us now proceed to our objective. So, mauna ni siya ang pinaka-body sa amuang report. So, our first objective is to define problems on watershed and mitigation in the Philippines. Second is to cite current problems in watershed management and watershed protection in our country. Third is to define the role of hydrology in water resources planning and management in the Philippines. And of course, lastly is to cite and identify the agencies involved in the collection of hydrologic data in the Philippines. So, di ba we all know that over the past decade, there have been many studies into climate change effects on hydrology and water resources, and of course, some are those are undertaken on behalf of the water management agencies. So, we will discuss to you guys what are those what are those agencies. So there are still many gaps and unknowns. However, the goal of this assesses current understanding of the impacts of climate change is on water resources and implication of adaptation. Estimating the impacts of climate change. So the impacts of climate change on hydrology usually are estimated by defining scenarios for changes in climatic inputs to a hydrological model from the output of general circulation model. So ang impacts do sa climate change is gina-estimate siya through defining the scenarios. Karang mga changes sa ato ang climatic input. So they are using uh, they're using model or hydrological model. The three key developments here are constructing scenarios that are suitable for hydrological impact assessments, developing and using realistic hydrological models, and understanding better linkages and feedbacks between climate and hydrological systems. So these are the estimating or these are the possible predictions or predictions in our near future or the estimating impacts of climate change. So this is the only possibilities lang. So first is trillions are expected to go toward coastal areas due to rising seas and greater storm surges. Second is people are expected to lack sufficient water because of the climate change. So because of the climate change kay possible nga we mag ano ta karang lack of sufficient water karang um murag murag kulangan ta sa tuang mga water resources or etc. Third is people are expected to be displaced by environmental hazards. So mapilitan sila mapahawa. And of course, is people are expected to be pushed into poverty. So whether we like it or not, maghirap jud ta if dili na to siya dili na to unsa ni ma ma-preserve ang ato ang water resources. So possible jud nga maghirap ta. So we can really say no that this estimated impacts or prediction is really massive and alarming. So bisag karon ang climate change is said to be responsible for 150,000 deaths around the world every year na siya. So ang pinaka best solution is that we can address is um we should take collectively significantly our actions no and preserve we should try to preserve our planet and protect our future. So Emmanuel de Vera will report the impacts on water resources and hazards. So that's all for my report.
Thank you, Sherpa Abdusalam. Ay ako ana dining part no sa pag-report. By the way, di ay ako day si Emmanuel M. De Vera ug mo ni ang part sa among ako ang i-report sa among report impacts on water resources and hazards. The meaning of impact on water resources and hazards is the preceding sections have assessed the potential effect of climate change on river flows, groundwater recharge, and other biophysical components of the water resource. Based on demands for that resource, The consequences or impacts of such changes on risk or resource reliability depend not only on biophysical changes in stream flow, recharge, sea level, rise, and water quality, but also on the characteristics of the water management system. Uh, ang water resources di ay guys is mao ni siya ang dako kaayog impact sa tuang country. Dili lang sa tuang country kundi para sa tuang tanan. Ang water related disasters nakaano ni siya naka mauning disasters na naka-connect gud sa water or na-involve gud sa water kapraanang halimbawa mga tsunami, mga baha, mo nang matawag nimo nga direct impacts kay tungod makadamage siya og mga building, mga crops and infrastructures or makalo sa tuang life og mga property. Ug napoy ginatawag nga indirect impacts mo ning maka-loss og mga product nato, mga tanom sa mga bukid, mga palay og mga livelihood nato og maka-increase ni sa tuang mga utang. Morning impact sa ato ang water resources and hazards. So, the next one, impacts on water resources and hazards. Isa po ni siya sa mga impact sa resources and hazards. One, poverty and low income. Siyempre, kabalo naman tayo kahirapan o gamay nga income, lack of water control infrastructures, lack of maintenance of existing infrastructures, lack of appropriate empowered institutions. 5. Absence of appropriate land use planning. 6. High population densities. 7. Increasing demand of water. 8. Lack of formal links among the various parties involved in water management. So guys, to avoid nato para ma-avoid nato ning 8 ka possible impact sa tuang water resources. So kabalo naman tanong nga ang tubig is importante jud sa tuang natural resources. Kung wala ning tubig nato diri sa earth, siyempre wala life ang earth, siyempre, di ba? So supply may be available but it is not always in the right place at the right time and of the right quality. Ano ang ibig sabihin ana? Ang ibig sabihin ana, guys, mag-preserve ka og tubig. Halimbawa kapraan ng demand kayo ang tubig nato diri so siyempre kay demand dili kayo nato kinahanglan. Ay available. Kung available ang tubig diri, kung naghantag supply diri nga tubig, what I mean supply, siyempre dili kayo nato kinahanglan. So dili man kayo nato kinahanglan, siyempre di po ta magpa usik-usik. So kailangan din nato i-preserve ang tubig nani para in case nga emergency nga kinahanglan na nato siya in the future, ato ang gi-preserve na tubig mo na tatong magamit. Kaya that's why na ay mga dams na mga ng mga infrastructure para maka-preserve og tubig. Mo na siya guys para ma-avoid lang nato ang mga tips para ma-avoid nato ning impacts on water resources. Kaya nganong importante jud kayo ang hydrological data sa tuang life. So, what is the hydrologic data? Hydrologic data is used to conceptualize the movement of groundwater through the system. Water level measurements are used to estimate the general direction of groundwater flow, the location of recharge and discharge areas, and the connection between aquifers and surface water systems. So, kabalo naman ang hydraulic data daw mao ni siya tong information about sa movement sa groundwater system. Makuha nimo ni diri ang mga measurement o estimation sa general direction sa groundwater flow og malocate nato ang discharge areas og etc. So the collection of hydrologic data, the goal of data collection in hydrology be in be it in precipitation measurements, water level recordings, discharge, go gaugings, groundwater monitoring, and water quality sampling. So the goal of this is to provide a set of sufficient, good quality data that can be used in decision making in all aspects of water resources management in the wide range of operational of applications as well as in research. Uh, excuse me. Uh, Mao ni siya guys ang task day sa ato ang hydro ang goal day nato sa atong data collection in hydrology is ang task niya is to provide water management with information needed for designing and operating aquaculture structures and systems. So, ang information systems must be data about the instantaneous condition of and the expected changes in quantity and quality. So, naday tay mga agencies guys no nga naka-involve sa hydrologic data. Mao ni ang ginatawag nato nga pag-asa or Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical um, Services Administration. So kabalo naman siguro ano or familiar man siguro mo aning pag-asa no na ginatawag no mo ni siya ang isa sa mga collect og hydrologic data nga na nagagamit or sa tuang weather sa mga flood forecasting and various research project of the agencies. Og naapod tay ginataw og napay isa ka agency nga na iya or National Irrigation and Administration. Mo siya ang responsible sa gathering and reporting waters recharge and discharge area. Og naapod si NPC, National Privacy Commission. Tawag ni. Ang primary responsible niya is na mag-collect og mga stream flow data kapraan ng mga flow sa ground water nato mo na. So napuntay isa pa ka NAMRIA, National Mapping and Resource Information Authority. Ang naga-responsible ni siya sa para mag-provide og mga public with map making services and acting as the central mapping agency. So, depository and distribution facility and natural resources data in the form of maps, charts, text, or statistics. Og NOAA, NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Naga-ensure ni siya sa optimum exploitation of utilization, development, conservation, and providing methods and standard for data collection. The project investigation, formulation, planning, design, and feasibility evaluation and rules and regulations for the exploitation and optimum utilization of water resources. So, guys, mo lang to ang ang report nako no. So, thank you kayo sa sa pakikinig. Thank you.